Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're going to get started in just a second. Let everybody filter in. All right, let's get started. Welcome, everybody. My name is Larry Law. I'm the Executive Director of the Great Lakes Independent Booksellers Association. Thank you for joining us today. Today is an Edelweiss education session. Today's session is Edelweiss Buying for Beginners. I want to thank Nikki Seclair and Deidre Dumpson from Edelweiss and Above the Tree Line for joining us and leading today's session. This session will be recorded. And it will be made available later this week if anybody missed it or if they would like to share it with their staff. As well, we have an advanced session coming up. I believe it is Thursday, August 11th at the same time, and that will also be recorded. So please register for that if you are interested. That being said, I think we are ready to go. I'm going to kick it over to Nikki and Deidre. Deidre is the Retail and Library Success Manager at Edelweiss and Above the Tree Line, and Nikki is the Senior Support and Education Specialist at Edelweiss and Above the Tree Line. So thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Deidre, and I'll let you take it away.
Thanks so much, Larry. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. Like Larry said, I'm Nikki. I work for Edelweiss as a support and education specialist. So if you already have Edelweiss accounts and you've ever emailed the support desk, there's a good chance I replied to your ticket. I also help onboard stores for analytics and just general onboarding. And I also used to work and manage an independent bookstore. So have a pretty good understanding of what stores are looking for when they come to Edelweiss, and love working with indies on how they can best utilize our features for their specific business. Deidre, did you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey everyone. As Larry said, my name is Deidre, and so my role as the Retail and Library Success Manager at Edelweiss is really to kind of partner with folks like Nikki to constantly look at the site and how it can be better and better serve booksellers and librarians in all ways. And so like Nikki, I also used to be a bookseller before coming here, and I was a bookseller in Brooklyn, New York, and Jersey City, New Jersey. I was a manager as well for a few years, and so coming into this role, and very sorry for my Yorkie right now, but coming into this role, I was super excited to work with other like bookseller folks like Nikki, and booksellers across the industry to really make Edelweiss the best it can be. So super excited to be here to talk about it and how you all can use it. And I'll be hanging out in the chat today. So while Nikki is walking through the demonstration, I'll be there sharing support documents as well as answering questions and putting a pin in any questions that we can maybe, or Nikki can demonstrate towards the end. So I'll be there, and feel free to ask any questions in the chat that come up for you.
Thanks, Deidre. Yeah, so I'm just gonna give a brief background. I understand there are some like new stores on the call, so I'm gonna kind of start from the very beginning with Edelweiss. Basically, at its core, Edelweiss is a digital catalog platform that publishers use to manage their catalogs and review copies. The platform was established with booksellers in mind, with the goal to have a central space where stores can streamline their ordering and title discovery process, and other things that are necessary for the maintenance of their stores. So today we're just going to take a look at ordering through Edelweiss, some of the features you can use for inter-store communication, and how to best utilize some of the tools available to you. So I'm going to actually turn my camera off and share my screen. And can everyone see the Edelweiss homepage
Yes.
from there now. Thank you. Cool. So I'll actually make this bigger as well. Oop. There we go. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do when you come to Edelweiss, come to the main page, which is edelweiss.plus. If you don't already have an account, you'll see this kind of login page, and you're going to want to create a free account. You can utilize a good portion of the site with the free version. It's just analytics, which we won't really get into today, but that's the only part that requires a paid subscription. So you're going to want to fill out your information here. Your email address, preferably your store, would be the best email address to use. I'm just going to use a made up one for this purpose, and then a password that you can remember. If your store is already on Edelweiss, you can click here to be I'm a part of an organization with an existing Edelweiss account, and click next, and then you'll be taken to this page where you can kind of search for your store. So, and if it comes up, you can click it, you can send a request to join the organization, and then someone from the store on that end will be able to approve you. But if you're not already on, if your store is not already on Edelweiss, you just leave this blank and click next, and you'll be able to, your account will be set up. So I'm actually going to just log in here since I do have an account. Okay. So this is our Edelweiss homepage dashboard. There's a couple of default, what we call widgets on this page. But the cool thing about the Edelweiss homepage is that it's pretty customizable based on how you're going to be using the site, and the features you use most regularly. Edelweiss has a lot of different features for a lot of different types of users. And in a lot of cases too, there's multiple ways to kind of get the same information or the same result that you're looking for. So it just really determines what works best for you and your staff. So I'll kind of just go through some of these widgets right now. The first one that comes up is our notifications widget. If you're a buyer, that's going to be a good one to keep here because things like markups from your reps will show up there. And so you can kind of keep track of those there. Any events will show up in the events widget. These are submitted by stores and libraries and other organizations. If you would like to sign up to be able to submit your store's events, you can always email us and we can get you set up to do that. Our publisher list is here. These are all of the main kind of top line publishers and distributors that are on Edelweiss. So I'll walk through that in a little bit. Any new catalogs that publishers post will show up down here. I feel like I'm actually zoomed in too much. There we go. Our new digital review copies that publishers post will show up here. Any catalogs you've recently viewed will be here, and then you can search for catalogs here. So with these widgets too, you can also move things around if you like. Just click on this grid to kind of reorganize things, or if you don't need a widget, you're not going to use it, you can click the X and that'll get rid of it. And then we also have a pretty large number of widgets here on the right. If you click add widget, you can kind of search by the category to add these to your homepage. So we'll go through these or some of these in a little bit, but some things that might be good to add would be tags. If you use a lot of tags for organization, that might be a good widget to add. I don't currently have any tags because I haven't made them yet, but then you can kind of go there and see, get the title list that you're looking for right away. So a little about the Edelweiss header. Our homepage is, pretty straightforward. You can always click that to come back to your homepage. The publisher tab here is not actually going to bring up a new page, but it's going to bring up a search function, which you can use to search for a specific publisher and click on it, and you'll be taken to that publisher main page with all of their catalogs. Penguin Random House has a lot of them, so it's going to take a little bit to load, but that is how that works. If you go to the catalogs page, you can see all publisher catalogs broken out kind of by different categories, to just kind of see them in the order that they were loaded to the site. You can click on all publishers. Shared with you is going to be any markups that your reps have shared with you. Recently viewed, so if you have to step away and come back, those will be here. And we could talk about on your work list and bookmarked as well. Most popular catalogs are just kind of internally the ones that are most clicked on and most ordered from at the moment on Edelweiss. So that might be a good place to look. And then we can talk about these kind of customized ones as well. The buzz section is going to be, I don't have any friends, is going to be come up with titles that have activity on Edelweiss. So if you have added friends, your friend activity will be there. Your account activity is going to show up here. Hang on, this is taking a second to load. But it'll show you titles, basically buzzy titles that are getting reviews or orders or tags from people in your account. And then same thing with community activity. Any communities you join, those titles will show up there. And then honors, any titles that have had starred reviews added. So Publishers Weekly, Book List, Kirkus, things like that. So this is a good section to look at, just to see maybe if there's titles that are getting a lot of attention, but that you don't necessarily have on order yet. This would be a good place to check to make sure you're kind of bringing in titles that folks are looking for. We have our reviews copy tab. So another thing that publishers do on Edelweiss, in addition to posting their catalogs, is they post review copies. So usually they are to be published titles that they offer either to request or download as a digital review copy, and to kind of create that buzz and word of mouth excitement for the title. And so as a bookseller, you'll probably have access to a lot of these. There are, depending on the publisher and the title, different types of ways you can access a review copy. If you see this little hand icon, that means you need to request the title. And if you see a green bar with the icons like a cloud with an arrow in it, that means you can download it immediately. And review the copy, post a review of it, nominate it for Indie Next, things like that. And we have a lot of things loading. Oh, one thing I can mention, anywhere you see this calendar icon is somewhere where you can change your time frame settings. So right now, this page is taking a while to load because there's over 5,000 review copies. But if you click the calendar, you can kind of reduce that time frame. If you want to just see the most recently uploaded things, you can click since yesterday, and that can help make things either load faster and also make sure that you're seeing the most recent activity. But yeah, so this download icon means these titles are available to download right away. Our reviews tab is where you can see reviews that you've posted, friends that you have added that have posted reviews, colleagues and communities. This is another good place to look for other booksellers' opinions on certain titles if you want to know what they think about it. One thing that my store used to use this for, actually they still use it for this, for colleagues' reviews. We would upload our reviews to Edelweiss and then download those to then upload to our website for staff picks and things like that. So that's one way you can use the review section. Your people section is where you're going to find your communities. If you are, well, you all are, I think, right? Because this is a GLEBA event. You're all ABA affiliates. So you can find the American Booksellers Association community and join with your ABA ID number. And then that'll also get you access to probably more review copies than if you weren't part of this community. But you can also see any activity. If I had any friends, it would show up under active friends or affiliates or colleagues. If we click on colleagues here, we can see some of the folks I work with, kind of the titles they're looking at and reading there. Our shelves is sort of predetermined, I guess, folders for different titles. Anytime you see a title and you kind of want to like quickly mark it to be like, oh, I'm looking forward to that, or I'm currently reading that, or adding it to a favorites list, you can click this book icon and add it to one of these shelves. And then that'll show up here on your shelves page. I know a lot of folks use it if they are looking forward to a book, but there's no review copy yet, and they want to keep checking to see if a review copy has been loaded. Actually, this is how I use shelves. I add it to my anticipated shelf, and then I check that every day to see if a review copy has been loaded. So that is a good thing to have. Our tags we'll go into a little bit. Tags are really good for inter-store communication, and you can do a lot with them, but I'll go into how to use that in a little bit. And then orders and event grids I'll also go into deeper demo of that. And then again, analytics is a whole separate thing that requires a subscription. So if you have analytics, that is great. And you can, if you ever have any questions, let us know and we can help out with that. But we probably won't be going into that a lot today. Just a couple other quick notes about the header here. Your notifications, so what's in this widget here, you can also find by clicking on this bell icon. And so any new notifications will show up here. And for most of them, you can kind of click either on the notification or this icon to be taken right to that page. You can also, if you've finished with it, you can check it off here and it'll move to your red folder. So these are all of my red notifications. If you checked it by accident, you can also uncheck it and it'll move back to your unread folder. And then if you click here, you'll be taken right to what that notification is in reference to. So in that case, it's a markup by a publishing rep, and you can click on it to be taken right to the catalog. Yeah. So I guess first thing for going through orders is to make sure that your account, that you're able to place orders from your account. So after you create it, what you're going to want to do is click this either profile picture or your initials up here, and click on your profile and account to bring up kind of your just your basic profile information. If you need to change your name, add your pronouns, or change your email address, you can do that all here, or change your password. Your account, if you have created it yourself, there should also be a pencil icon here that you can click. What you're going to want to make sure is that in the parentheses here, it says retail, because that's the way you'll be able to, first of all, be like determined as a bookstore in the system, but also make sure that you have under privileges here, buying privileges, because that's how you're going to be able to create and add to orders. For your store account, you can add as many users to your account kind of organization. Basically, your organization is the umbrella, and then you can have a lot of separate user accounts underneath that are all connected. But you keep the accounts separate for things like review copies and things like that. And so you can also make sure that just your buyers have buying access. If you have other booksellers who don't need to have access to your orders, don't give them buying access, because sometimes people click on things, they don't know what it is, and it might mess up your orders. And so you can, from here too, if you're, the main account holder, under account users, you'll be able to see all of the account users. If you have, if you did make the account yourself, there will be a button here that says add user, so you can add other booksellers and they'll be added automatically to the organization. Friends, like I was saying, I have no friends, but if I wanted some, I could search for them here and add them, and then I would be able to see their information in those other areas. And then publisher contacts here. This is not really something you're going to be able to kind of manipulate, but this would be a way to check if one of your reps has added you like as one of their accounts. So I'll kind of explain more about that. But that's your profile information. In order for ordering, like I said, you're gonna just want to make sure that you are set up as a retail account instead of an individual account or something else, and that you have buying privileges added to your account. So I will go through how to kind of create an initial order. You can do this in a number of different ways, but the easiest first step is just to come to your orders page. If this is your first time here, there's not really going to be anything to see, but you can create your first order. And also a quick note that nothing will happen with your order until your rep submits it. So if you just want to practice around with it, you can totally do that, and don't feel like you're accidentally going to order a ton of stuff that you don't actually want or need. So the buying privileges means that this button here will show up, the create order button, and we're going to click that to create our first order. So depending on what this order is or how your POS system works, you may choose to name this really anything. I'll name it Opening Hachette Book Group. You can add a PO number, depending on whether you bring orders into your POS system, it might assign it automatically. The only thing you need to have is an order name, and you can also edit this information at a later date if you want. For reps shared with, this is going to be how your reps see your order and then are able to submit it. You can add a rep to share it with right off the bat, and that way they'll have access to it and you can just let them know when you're finished, or you can create the order and then add them to share later. So I'm just going to share it with Deidre. And you'll be able to find, if your rep has added you as a contact, you'll be able to find them here. If you don't see them here, that means they haven't added you correctly, and you can always let them know that or have them reach out to us, and we're happy to help them with that. If you were done with this order and you wanted to notify your rep through email, you can click them here and send an email to them. You can let them know where in the ordering process you are. put in any notes, send yourself a copy of it so you know that you sent it to your rep, and they'll get that notification and they'll know. So if you have it on order completed, and write something like that, it'll send to them and they'll know that they can submit the order right away. Email sent, yay. Another thing you can do if you want here, if you have appointments with your reps to go over, you know, any notes that they've sent you or to review orders, you can put in an appointment date here. And this, again, is really just depending on how you work. Some stores find it really useful to have the appointment dates connected to their calendar. Others organize, you know, things differently, and that's fine too. And then another thing you can do with orders, which is going to be very helpful, especially once you get a lot of orders going, is you can bind an order to a specific publisher or catalog. And so what this means is that if we are in this Hachette order here, and we bind it to the Hachette publisher, which I'm just going to do one of these, there we go. If we bind it to Hachette Book Group, that means that we won't be able to open the order in, say, a Penguin catalog and start adding Penguin titles to a Hachette order.
Let me know when you are.
And so that, you know, can really come in handy when you have a lot of orders going on, similarly named orders. You don't want to necessarily add the wrong publisher's titles to the wrong order. Although if you do, that can also be fixed later on. So also no worries. So once we kind of have this set up, you're just going to click save, and that'll show up here. We can see that this order is bound here. And if we hover over, we can see who it is bound to. This order down here is not bound, so we can open it from anywhere in Edelweiss. If you need to edit any of the details at all, you can click the edit icon and change any of the information. If you want to unbind an order, you're just going to want to find where you selected the publisher, hold down Control, and then click on it again to kind of unhighlight it here, and then save. Oh, it still was bound. Okay, well, that didn't work. Usually it works. But that's how you do that. And then you can kind of see a summary of your order information here, how many titles you have on it so far, how many units, and then a running total. The running total here is just going to be based on the list price of the items. It's not going to take in your publisher discount. That comes in, you know, when your rep submits your order with discount codes and things like that. So just that's a thing to keep in mind too. So now that we have our order here, we can start adding to it. So since this is a Hachette order, we'll go back to our Hachette catalog. And your main catalog view may be the same for across the board. If you want to know if you're within an order, you're going to want to look down at the bottom here at this orange order bar. Right now, we are looking at all orders combined. So those two orders that were in our order screen. And what that's going to do is gray out this order field. So you're not going to be able to add quantities to that. When you have that selected, that's mostly just to kind of go through to see if you have something on order, not necessarily to edit an order. But in order to edit an order, you're just going to want to click on this. And now Hachette's not showing up. Okay, hang on. Let me go back here 1 second and see if I can unbind this. Now it's on 6 publishers, so I'm getting closer. Oh, I know what happened. Okay. So when you click Hachette, it's going to select all of these other imprints as well. So it's going to have to search for down through them all and find them and unmark them, which depending on the publisher can be tedious. So if you're not sure, I would recommend leaving them unbound at the moment until you kind of like know which imprints go with which type, which distributors and things like that. Apologies for this. Making sure we have them all. Okay. All right, so none of that worked. And so I'll just change this one. That one seems to be working. All right, back to our catalog. Sorry about that. So yeah, when you are in a catalog, you're ready to start adding titles within the catalog to your order. You can click this arrow and select any of the orders that you can order from here. So now we're opening, Hachette is working. So if you select that, you'll notice the order fields here have turned orange. There's two in this case because our test store has two locations, but if you just have the one store, you're just going to see the one location here. If you do have multiple stores and you just want to put in orders for one of the stores, you can click the up arrow next to this location and unmark one of those. So you just have the one field. And then next to that, it'll keep a running tally of how many titles and units and cost that is being added to this order. So if we're looking at this catalog, you can kind of order things in different, using the word order a lot, things in different ways. If your rep has sent you a markup, you're going to see that information here. Any of their notes specifically. If you want to see more about a title, you can expand the content section here where you can see a summary, author bio, links, and then any of their kind of marketing plans or publicity information. If you would like to see comp titles, which can be helpful if you're ordering backlist, you can open that here. And so these are titles that either the publisher or the rep or your rep has determined that they're similar titles. So they might also be good to order as well. If you haven't before, or to see, if you've sold a lot of one of these, then this new title might be good to order for those same customers. And then any related titles will be here. So usually other editions of the same title. So we have the paperback, audio file, and ebook here. For the most part, if you just do general retail, you may not need this other information, but this is a good way to see too. So like this here, we have our hardcover of the title. If we look at our related products, we can see if there's a paperback available. Looks like it won't be available till 2024. So we know the hardcover is the way to go for this one. And then our refs section. So this is going to be, it's going to show any catalogs that the title is in, and you can click, got it. Okay, back up. Now I don't remember. Oh, refs, yes. The ref section is where you can see any catalogs that the title is also in. This could be a good place too if you're looking So for example, this title, the imprint is Grand Central Publishing. And on the right here, we can see that it's been cataloged by Hachette. So that usually means that's who the distributor is, but that might not always be the case. So if you click on refs to see the catalogs, under publisher, you can see kind of who owns that title. So let's say this title was sent to you in a list of like Gleba Buzz titles. It would say Grand Central Publishing over here, but then on the right, it might say Gleba organization or American Booksellers Association or something like that. But you can click on catalogs and see that Hachette owns this title. So Hachette is who you order the title from. And if you want to go to that catalog, the title in the catalog specifically, you can also click on the number here and that'll take you right to it. You can also see if you have placed this title in any collections. Collections are basically catalogs, but just created by non-publisher users. So you would be able to see that here. And then you can also see if you have the title on any orders. So I can show you how that works in a second as well. If you're going through catalogs and you want to leave some of this information open, you can click on other actions and you can select what you would like to be the default when you open a catalog. So you don't have to click those arrows for every one. So for example, if you select show only highlighted comps, that's going to come up with the comp titles that your rep has marked and thinks would be good for you to look at. And those are now open for every title. You can also open the content section. So you can see the summary information for every title without having to open each one on every, because especially some of these larger publishers, they're huge catalogs. You may not want to click every single one. You can also resort these if you'd like. Right now, it's just catalog sequence, which is how the publisher put them in the catalog. But depending, on how you like to work, you can order things by title and either in ascending or descending to look at things that way. Pub date might be a good way to organize things to see what is coming out soonest rather than laterist. That's not a word. But so catalog sequence, we'll keep it like that for now. So when you're going through these, basically, if you decide you want to put a book on order, you're just gonna want to enter your quantity here. And then you can click enter. And then we can see at the bottom here, the tally has started. We have added one title of 6 units, and then the total cost of those 6 units, again, without discounts applied, will show up there. And you can do that pretty much for any title you want to add. Just kind of enter your information. Sorry, I didn't show that. If you want to just jump to the next one, you can enter your quantity and click tab, and that'll take you to the next book's order field. So if you're kind of flying through catalogs, that's how you do that. If you don't want to order a book at all, you do not need to fill in the quantity here. You don't need to put in a 0. You can, if you're kind of importing orders to your POS and want to add the title to your POS system, but you don't need to, if you're not interested in ordering anything, just keep it blank. And so there, again, our tallies kind of coming up here, but if we go back to our order screen, we can also see that tally has updated here of how many titles and units and the cost. And if you now want to go into that order to see what you have, you can open it and look at it there. And as long as, you're if you're still working on the order too, you can also always edit this if you need to. And so that's basically, you know, how you would do orders. If you, when you first start doing them, it can be a little, not necessarily tricky, but it can take some practice to switch in and out of the orders on with this order bar. So if you do add things to the wrong order, you can transfer them to another order, which I can also show you how to do. Okay, so yeah, let's do that. So if let's say we added a bunch of Macmillan titles accidentally to our Hachette order, it happens a lot, and we can totally fix it. What you're going to want to do is go to your order screen and click on this export preview button. And that's going to bring up, depending on if you have a POS system in place, kind of connected with Edelweiss, that'll show up here. But if you don't, it'll usually show up as just an order form. And you know, if you want, you can download this and send it to your rep to submit, but for this purpose, we don't need to do that. But this will just give you some of the basic title information. If it's just like a couple titles, you can probably find them here, but you can also see the publisher name and the catalog that the books were in. So that's kind of a good way to be able to find the titles if you don't want to keep going back and forth to figure out which publishers' titles were added to the wrong order. So if you want to move these to another one, all you have to do is select the title you want or select all of them, either way, and click Move Selected. And then you're going to want to select the target order, so the order you're moving them to, and we'll just click our other Hachette order here and click Move. And then that title has disappeared from this catalog. And if we refresh our page here, it has been added to this order. So that's how you would move things back and forth. And if you ever have trouble with it, again, let us know. I personally love moving things to other orders. I find it to be like kind of relaxing. So I'm happy to help. Once you have your order finished, you've let your rep know that you're ready to submit it. And at that point, you're also probably, you're not going to want to be able to add or edit to it or have other people accidentally add or edit to it. A good kind of practice to get into is to mark it completed. And so that will remove that order from your active orders here and put it in your completed orders area. If you ever accidentally do that, you can always put it back into active and do that. No problem, but that'll kind of clear up your active order area, and then any orders that are incompleted, you will not be able to select when you're looking at a catalog. So you can't, if you mark them complete, you won't be able to continue adding titles to the wrong order that has already been sent to your rep. And then from completed, I don't recommend this because it's, I think, good to have these for like your records, but you can delete the order here if you want, and then that'll delete it totally from the system. If you make an order, if you have like an accidental order and just want to start over, you can put it incomplete and delete it. But any orders that you've actually sent to your reps, I would not recommend doing that because we're not able to track them down once you've deleted it. So that is kind of the basics of ordering. I guess what time? Oh, 12:46. Okay, cool. So that took up time. I guess Deidre, are there any kind of questions or things to demo that I missed at the moment?
No questions in the chat, but please feel free if anyone does have a question, you can write it in. Maybe just quickly showing someone how to add a backlist title to an order.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Like you probably already determined, a lot of the titles in Edelweiss are ordered by catalogs. So they're usually going to be like the newest front list titles. But if you do want to order backlist, you can absolutely do that. Oh, I didn't go through searching well either, but okay. You can kind of search for any title here. If you want to kind of change your search parameters, you can do that as well. You're just going to want to click on this gear icon, and you can change your search to only bring up backlist titles, to only bring up front list titles, or all titles. And then you can also change your searchable elements. So this would actually be kind of a good way to, if you're looking for books by just Michigan authors, you're just going to want to select contributor bio and then search Michigan. So what that'll do is filter out any books with Michigan in the title, but not necessarily written by a Michigan author. It's just going to search in an author bio that, if the publisher has put in that they live in Michigan, that'll come up there. And that's a good way to kind of track down titles for like local authors. But yeah, if you want to just kind of do searches of everything, I usually have all of these checked, and so I get a lot of results. But if you want to search, if you want to add a backlist title, you can either search it and it will come up. So obviously there's a lot of editions of Goodnight Moon, but you would be able to add it to the catalog or the order that you're working on there. Or if you are in an order, you can, and you have the ISBN of the title you want, you can click more and add item and plug in the ISBN and the quantity, and that'll add it to this order. Did that?
Yeah.
Okay.
A question came just asking if you could show how to add a book to a shelf.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can use this book actually as an example. Your kind of book tools menu is going to be at the bottom of the listing here, but before any of like the additional title information. If you want to shelve the title, click this book icon and you can add it to one of your shelves. You should see the orange icon pop up here. And then if we go to shelves, that has been added there. And also on your homepage, if you want to add a widget for your shelf, you can do that here, and that'll pop up there. So kind of right when you log in, if you have that here, you can see, whether a DRC has been uploaded, or you can also click on it for more title information.
Thanks, Nikki.
Sure.
The next question came in from John asking how to connect Edelweiss to your POS.
Yeah, so that is something we will definitely need to connect with you on the back end. Basically, the first step is going to be to email us at support@abovethetreeline.com with your POS information, and then we can kind of get things set up on our end. What you can do from your end, though, is click on your settings and preferences. And on your point of sale POS section, you can choose your specific POS here. And that's kind of step one for it. Obviously, every POS is different, so importing your orders might be a little bit different, but we have, really good working relationships with all of these POS systems, and they're used to getting stores set up so that you can import orders. So yeah, we're happy to help with that. Oh, and I also realized I mentioned tags, but I forgot to show people how to use tags. Tags are a really good way for, like I said, inter-store communication. I know my store uses them for things like staff picks. If you want to add a tag, yay. Okay, so if you bring up a title, like in this module here, or if you're looking at a title in a catalog, you'll see this tag icon, and you can click on that, and you can make tags whatever you want. So if you want to mark it staff pick, you can do that. If you're using reviews for different things, another thing my old store does is that we have a added to website tag, meaning that it's already been put on the website. Somebody else doesn't have to do it. But you can just type whatever you want and click enter so that it shows up with this blue filled in tag. If you do a typo or make a mistake, you can click this X and that'll remove it. But if we X out of this, you can see that 2 tags were added to the title. And then if we go to our tags page, we can see our tags here on the left, and then these are all tags made by other Above the Tree Line folks. So if we click on our tag here, this is the title we just added. Basically, this is kind of like creating your own title lists. So, you can tag things, really anything you want, and then they'll show up here. And then kind of same thing with these tagged by other people. You can see, like, if your booksellers are tagging things, you can click on that and see what those titles are here. You may notice that right now this is showing up in kind of a 2-column view. If you're using this for, like, your booksellers want to make recommendations and you want to add those recommendations to your orders, you're going to want to click this full view over here, and that'll bring up your order field. And so you can add to your order right from there, from your tags page. You don't have to go searching for the title in the catalog. And yeah, I love tags. I use a lot of tags.
Yeah, thanks, Nikki.
Sure.
I was going to add that tags are really, like, great for a number of things. One thing I recently learned from a bookseller is that they use tags to, when a new galley or ARC comes in, they tag it in Edelweiss so that if somebody looks up a book, they'll automatically know if a print galley is in the store and available to take a peek at. So I thought that was super cool and smart.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Oh, another kind of good way, especially if you're starting out, to kind of manage your workflow and organize all of these catalogs. Once your reps know you're on Edelweiss, they'll probably be sending you markups all the time, and it can get kind of overwhelming. So if you have these catalogs, or if you're finding catalogs, people are sending you catalogs, and you want to make sure to mark them for later, you can always click this star icon, which will add them to your work list, which you can either find on the catalogs page over here, or you can also add a work list widget to your home page, and then that'll show the catalogs that you still have to take a look at and put in any orders for there. If you're in the catalog, if you are done with this, you don't need to look at it again. You can click the star again to remove it from your work list. And then that's how you know it's done. Depending on the size of your store too, if you have multiple buyers, you can also add catalogs to folders. Apparently I can't type and talk at the same time. Your buyers can kind of find them in these folders, and they know to take a look at it. So if you do, it's kind of similar to adding tags. If you do that, you'll see this show up here. And then when you're in your catalogs page, you'll be able to see colleague folders. These are some random ones, but you can find the one we just added, adult buyer, and then they can see the catalog show up here and either add that to their work list or they know it's something they have to do. So that's a good kind of organizational feature as well.
Added on to that, Nikki, could you show folks how to bookmark if
yeah. Bookmarks are like one of my favorite things. So if we go back to this catalog, so again, some of these publisher catalogs can be huge. This one has 703 titles. If you are somewhere in the middle of the catalog and need to step away, switch to something else, you get busy, and you're going to want to go back to the catalog later, you can click like on the title that you last left off. You can click the ellipses here and click on bookmark title. And that'll take you back to your homepage. But what that's going to do is it didn't add it here. Oh, it did. Okay. Is add this to your bookmarked section under catalogs. When you click on the catalog again, it will take you right back to that title. So you don't have to make a mental note or a physical note of which title you were on in the catalog. And then kind of same thing with a lot of these, you can also add that widget to your home screen. So this is where we just were. If we click on it, it'll take us right back to that title. So you can just pick up right where you left off in the ordering process, and not have to search around too much. So yeah, it looks like we are almost at time. So if there are any kind of last minute questions, I'm happy to answer those. But if not, as you're going through all this, again, there's a lot of different things that Edelweiss can do. You may not need all of these features. A lot of it depends on just kind of how you like to work. But if you do have any questions, if you want to know if something's possible on Edelweiss, if you run into anything that looks weird, you can always email us at support@abovethetreeline.com, and we will be able to figure out what's going on or answer your question. I also wanted to mention, we do, while we're still in here, have a pretty extensive help website. If you just click on this question mark up here at the top right of your page, you'll be taken to our help portal. We have it in, like, if you're just getting started, a good thing to select would be the bookseller training page, and that'll kind of get you started of like things you need to set up, kind of how to navigate the site at first, and then going into orders and other features. There are both written documents and videos on here. So depending on what type of learner you are, we hopefully have the answer you're looking for. And of course, yeah, so, and we also, for the rest of the summer, we have some summer sessions going on, which are kind of webinars similar to this with demos. We've had a couple so far that we have recordings for online if you're interested in watching them. And we have some coming up that you can register for if there are other features you're interested in learning about. I encourage you to check those out. And once I figure out how to put both recordings together for these, that will be sent out to everyone who registered for this. Thank you all so much for coming to this. And again, if you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. And I hope you all have a great day.